What is going on? This is Ruu's Reviews, where we keep it for real, for real. I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid.
I'm Informer, aka Ify.
And today we are reviewing the latest project from Melbourne surf indie rock trio, the Grogans, called Stagger. I think this is their fifth project in 6 years, last one being in 2023. So, they've been pumping them out. And yeah, that's enough of the bio. Let's get into our overall thoughts.
I think Stagger is an album that takes you on a roller coaster. I love that they did a lot stylistically, and it felt like a game of like, what am I gonna get now? There are tracks that didn't hold me, like, because some of the album has a lot of stronger ones, but it's a pretty clean album with a great sonic concept.
Nice. And I think that Stagger is very energetic listen that still has the natural dips. Shout out to the, go check out the Cheapskate review if you're not sure what I mean. However, the way they approached this album unfortunately didn't receive the emotional reaction that I wanted. But I'll get more into that in a moment. So let's get into our pros.
Okay, first thing, I love the variety. I like how you can genuinely kind of get a little bit of what the Grogans have to offer in just one album. And yeah, it's just a really, as I said, cool musical journey. And although there's so much differing, it does work really well together. On that note, it's my second pro, which is kind of the same, but because of the sonic variety, there's no central theme lyrically like with the songs, but I think that works, and I love that a lot. With the songs not really having a main theme tying them together, but the theme of the album representing, like all of their influences with their work, it makes sense. And it makes for a really interesting listening experience when you come in with the context. Once again, I'll say it, I just love how different it is. I like the flow that each song has after. And yeah, I think they just do it really well, and they also say it themselves. They do say that like the songs don't necessarily fit together side by side, but that is the beauty. And yeah, I think it just makes sense when you have the context. When you have the context.
No, for sure.
But those are my pros. I have standouts. I have 4 songs that I like. In My Heart, which is song number 3, very sweet. I wanted to like cry when I was listening because it was just really adorable. The little whistling time to time really made it for me. And it's like a song that I think I would genuinely come back to for the rest of my life. Like, I want to show this song to my kids. Another song that I really like was song 4, which is Have a Little Dream. Kind of just like the previous song as well. Very cute lyrically, but the tones have more of an indie rock feel, just like that one as well. Roll Back, song 7, really fun. The guitar melodies and the little breakdown with the riff is really nice to listen to, and the vocals are super fun as well. And then Roundabout, which is song 8, I just love the chorus, I love the ending, and the sounds on that one, insane. That's everything.
Nice, nice. Yeah, as I mentioned, I think this is a very energetic listen. I do like how the album flows throughout. I do think there are a handful of tracks that, stand out to me as well, including In My Heart and Have a Little Dream, which I think are nice little sweet tracks. But I think the one that really stands out to me is probably Social Cue. I really love the driving vibe, both in the way that the track drives, but at the same time, it feels like something you chuck on in like a, not down the coast, like going to Wagga, like you're driving to Wagga type situation.
Yeah.
Going towards the country, like driving towards the country type vibe. Had like a syncopated like guitar riff that I really liked, and a harmonica on the back end that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, nice. As well, wait, was that one the one that had a harmonica? No, I'm wrong. Oh Boy had the harmonica.
Yes.
That I also did like. But sorry, I meant a guitar solo in the latter half that you don't really hear guitar solos like that anymore, and it felt natural.
Yeah.
It didn't feel fake. It feels like people are going away from guitar solos, which I think is just the natural evolution. However, it felt good. It felt good to hear like a nice classic, rock guitar
I get that.
guitar solo. So yeah, I think those are the majority of my pros. Again, it's a good listen. Like the performance is great, and I do like that they approached it with the freedom of, we're just making music because it's fun.
Yeah.
We're not doing this because it's thematic and stuff like that. However, that point is going to transition into my cons, but I'm gonna let you kick it off.
Alrighty. So with my cons, first one is, as I said, kind of in the overall thoughts, I feel like there are songs that are very sonically stronger than others. And I felt myself somewhat coming in and out of attentiveness a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. But because of how much variety and change of pace there is within the album, I would have thought I would have been hooked all the way through, because I'm kind of like, oh, what's going on now? What's this? But like, there were some songs where I was like, okay, I'm kind of done. I only have one other con, and I think you might actually touch on this, but because of how stylistic it is, and because there is no central theme, it was hard to kind of, I guess, like, hook myself onto the project as a whole, because I was like, okay, really cool, but there's no kind of like sentiment to kind of attach myself to.
Yeah.
There were individual songs, once again, that were really beautiful and endearing, but it's like you're not telling a story with the whole album.
Yeah.
Which I would have liked.
Which is nothing, but I mean, we can also say there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with like having a project that has no theme, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's kind of like this is just like a collection of songs. It's like,
Yeah,
cool.
I was gonna say
Fun
this,
listen, but yeah.
like the album felt like the Grogans' best hits. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
Which is like not bad, but it's different.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't say best hits type vibe, but more like a jam session.
Yes,
Like
okay.
a jam session of like 11 tracks. And they're like,
Yes.
yeah, let's chuck
I
these
agree.
together.
I agree.
And yeah, like again, you don't have to have a theme to make a great album, or you don't. Not everything has to be heady. Not everything has to be a concept album. You can make great albums, amazing albums that have no overarching thing, but just based on that, like them coming in, just being like, yeah, we're making music for fun. Kind of just random tracks mixed in with just how I felt some of the songwriting was, which was good, but I don't know. I feel like I've been a lot more attentive on songwriting recently, and in comparison to some other projects as of late, such as the Spacey James, the Tiny James organ. I don't know. This one felt very like, yeah, it was okay. And yeah, because of that, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Chuck it on. Yeah, it's definitely nothing offensive. It's really good music, and if you really enjoy this genre, then you would love it. However, for me, it's more like a one and done, and it's like, cool, all right, I've heard it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to review this, then I'd be like, okay, cool, I've chucked it on, I've listened. All right, let me move on.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, and as a listener and a fan of music, you want something to bring you back, even if it is those small things. Again, like the songwriting, like something that's like a super personal story or at least makes you think.
Yeah.
And there was no there was none of that personal thing to like grab.
Yeah,
grab
like
us
you
in.
can't attach yourself to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, but I think apart from that, it's a solid project. But let's see what our rating says. So here is our overall rating system. It is, are we here for this? Does it depend on the day whether we're here for this or not? Are we feeling iffy about it? Kick it off.
I am a teeter. It's a depends on the day,
sorry, yeah.
and here for this, but I'm more towards depends.
Okay.
I really do like the album, and I think, it's a really cool musical trip that you're taken on with each song and not really knowing what you'll get. And it made for a fun listen. And I don't have any proper ill feelings towards any particular songs. But the reason I teeter is because it's just not an album that I would revisit constantly, because it's hard for this project to, as I said, like invoke proper feeling out of me instead of just like particular songs. I still think this is an album that needs to be celebrated because of the concept that's not really a concept.
Yeah.
But like as a whole, I don't see myself going back a lot, but I do like it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it is a teetering between Depends and Iffy. Again, not because of the performance, not because of, their production. It's all solid. All really solid. I
Yeah.
think, again, it's just a one and done. If, again, I didn't have to do this review, there was nothing emotional or, story-wise within it that, really grasped me. Again, some of the sweet moments, like In My Heart and Have a Little
Yeah.
Dream, they're nice. They're really, really, wholesome songs,
Yeah.
but not enough to make me go like,
I'm
like
gonna
that
listen
really
to the
cool.
whole album
Yeah,
again.
or those couple songs like caught me so much that I'm
Yeah.
gonna add those songs
Yeah.
to my playlist. So, teetering between Depends and Iffy for me. But let us know what you think. Are you here for this? Does it depend on the day? Feeling iffy about it? Let us know. And that is our review of the Grogans Stagger. I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid,
I'm Ifoma, aka Ippy.
and we'll catch you next time. Peace.